I've been waiting a long time for this moment to come. I'm destined for anything at all. Dumbstruck, color me stupid.
Tap G, I know you're bored waiting in a 2-hour line and all, but please stop singing. Everyone's giving you dirty looks, and I'm getting a migraine.
I told you we should have used the ANS pass.
An ambiguously named Speed Pass? They are out for the day. Besides, as critics, it's our job to experience the attraction as a whole, and that includes the queue.
Why? All it is a corral for holding thousands of people in an orderly fashion so people don't trample over each other underfoot while getting into the ride vehicles.
Well, that was true. At least back in the old days. Today, it's a different story. One of the biggest gripes in the theme park industry is the lengthy lines it takes to get on the rides. But lately, there's been a shakeup. Now, not only are queues expected to be part of the ride experience, they're also expected to provide its own sort of entertainment. They're supposed to be gearing us up for the excitement within, get us into the story we're about to be told. We've come to expect that much more in today's world.
And as you'd expect, some do it better than others. Disney!
Subtle. Actually, this list may surprise you. The competition up the street found its way into this list too. Who? Well, let's take a look at our latest countdown, the top 10 attraction queues.
This list is dedicated to those who lost their place in the great ride evacuation of '06. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's hurry up and wait.
Number 10. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Aside from what certain co-hosts feel about this ride, there's no doubt it ushered in an era of hyper-detailed attractions at the Disney parks in 1994. Even today, it remains one of the most respected and best-loved versions of this attraction.
But before you enter the elevator into the Twilight Zone, you peruse through the grounds of the Hollywood Tower Hotel, and you notice the plants seem a bit unkempt, as if a very enthusiastic groundskeeper took over.
Cinderella story, out of nowhere, a former greenskeeper now about to become the Masters champion.
Let's hope no one tells him about the gophers at the Winnie the Pooh queue.
As you press on, you find yourself at the foot of the imposing edifice, and you see the place has been in a state of perpetual disrepair since the night of the incident. At last, you enter the hotel lobby where you can see, well, at least if you're in the standby queue, that everything has been left behind rather suddenly since 1939. Every detail is immaculately tended to, even some antique chairs from the 1800s.
But arguably the best details are the ones in the library pre-show area, like the fortune teller from the episode Nick of Time, the cookbook from To Serve Man, the trumpet from A Passage for Trumpets, and more, if you know where to look. If you dare.
Were you guys talking about the Tower of Terror?
Oh, actually, you just missed out, Tower Girl. Seriously, by like seconds.
Sorry.
Oh, sugar plums and daisies.
Number 9. Jim Henson's Muppet Vision 3D at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Granted, it's not much of a queue, but there's a lot there. My favorite bit is the key under the mat at the security booth, or the crack in the ceiling showing someone almost too tall passed through here once.
But the best gem is in the show's extended queue around the back. Sadly, it's rarely utilized these days because this is really cool. The story goes that in 1963, Jim Henson, fellow puppeteer Frank Oz, and a few other members of the Muppet staff were set to appear on the Jack Paar program. The problem? They got to New York 6 hours early. To kill time, the young and enthusiastic Muppeteers painted their dressing room closet. And we're not just talking about the door.
These mischievous renegades painted the pipes. They endowed these former eyesores with noses, eyes, teeth, lips, hair, ears, basically every cranial appendage conceivable in bright, vivid colors. These designs were replicated in the beams, supports, pipes, and light fixtures all throughout the queue. There's even a few on the bus stop right outside the entrance.
There's other great posters and announcements in every part of the queue, from glasses instructions to movie posters, all with the Muppets touch. Especially the Hannah Montana concert tour poster starring Miss Piggy. Because, let's face it, I think we'd all rather see Miss Piggy singing on stage than Miley Cyrus. Number 8. The Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at the Magic Kingdom.
Ah, yes, the ride that gave me a rather abrupt and irrational fear of apples in a single afternoon.
This new kid on the block isn't far behind in terms of cool cues. As you roam the rolling bucolic hills, the enchanted forest, and the dwarf's cottage, you slowly find yourself getting immersed in the world of Disney's first full-length animated film. But soon the queue carefully segues into the dwarfs' work areas, like where the gems get hosed and cleaned, or colored water plays music. These strange geological practices are merely games for impatient and restless guests who need a good diversion.
And once you step into the vault, it gets even better. How about those spinning diamond barrels that reveal images on the ceiling? And no, for those who are wondering, we're not adding this just because of the games. You're not going to see Winnie the Pooh, Space Mountain, Soarin', Haunted Mansion, or Big Thunder Mountain Railroad on this list. The environment is rich, detailed, and serene, unlike the other 5 I just mentioned. This queue also flows better than the others without any jarring switchbacks or clustering pathways. And the music in the entrance of the vault ain't half bad either.
Hey, anyone want to split an apple pie with me?
Tower Girl, we talked about this. No apples, remember?
It's okay. It's pumpkin.
Something wrong with you, girl. Oh, leave me a slice, would you mind? It was a pumpkin, dude. Come on, get up.
Number 7. Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid at the Magic Kingdom.
I'll be honest, at first, I wasn't too impressed with this queue. I thought the games were a bit simple.
Well, I think they're pretty cool. I mean, come on! Scuttle's animatronic is pretty impressive. The voice work by Chris Edgerly taking over for the late Buddy Hackett is pretty darn spot on. Although, granted, I would have loved to hear Scuttle say, "Slow down, Hybe!"
No, I meant the pointing crab game, where all those little crabs come out with Ariel's human oddities and curios, and you can point to them to let them know where to take them. But again, it's the queue theming itself that's a little bit more impressive. Starting at Prince Eric's Mediterranean Palace, surrounded by all those wave-worn red rocks, then you proceed into the shady caverns where the games in Scuttle are.
Overall, it captures Disney's attention to detail that it was known for. We officially become part of your world.
No. That didn't deserve it. You have to do better than that to get a CSI Miami riff.
So close!
Number 6. Star Tours at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Captain's log 497-90210 THX1138. Phaser set to stun. Copy that, Big Ben. This year's rubber duck for sure, by golly.
How? You know what? I'm just gonna let that slide for now. It's just not worth it.
While a very simplistic queue, not unlike Space Mountain, but with a lot heavier on the theming, watch C-3PO and R2-D2 incessantly bicker over repairing a star speeder. Find poor Rex decommissioned in the ride queue. Wait, wasn't he turned evil at a comedy club, navigated Captain Kirk's ship, and got crushed by Disco Yeti?
Well, that's surreal.
Confusing.
Inconsistent.
Plot hole-like.
And ultimately inconsequential. Don't forget to watch the bag checker, who apparently isn't so good at his job. Slinging one-liners, though? Man, he could get paid for that. And don't forget the other droid checking heat signatures. He's got some witty banter, too.
It feels like you're at a true spaceport somewhere in a galaxy far, far away. Minus all the Empire propaganda, you know. Oh, and could an Egroeg Sakul please come out to the parking lot? Your lights are on. Egroeg Sakul. Go ahead, pen and paper champ. That's EGROEG SACUL. L is in Lucas. It's part of the queue. Don't worry.
Was that worth it?
96%. Definite 100 if they get it. Next! Number 5. Dinosaur at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Roar!
It only looks like a cheaply made museum with dull visuals, tired dioramas, and Bill Nye the Science Guy narration?
See, kids, Bill Nye, before he got into debates with Ken Ham, was our Neil deGrasse Tyson. He was our window to the world of science and discovery, and in his words, dinosaurs are just cool!
But the cheapness of the museum isn't exactly why this is number 5.
If it were, Primeval World would surely snag the number 1 spot.
But it's contrast. The idea is that museums are outdated in the face of time-traveling technology.
Great Scott!
It shows a great introduction to the attraction's antagonist, the Carnotaurus, as a centerpiece of part of the queue, spliced in with an intermittent spiel from Bill Nye going into detail about the impending extinction of the dinosaurs. which may or may not be part of the ride's climax.
Spoiler alert, the dinosaurs don't make it.
Yeah, thanks for that.
De nada.
Number 4. Toy Story Midway Mania at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
This ride is easily the best themed in all of Disney's Hollywood studios, at least until we see what'll become of the Star Wars land in the future. I mean, aside from all the toys strewn about, did you know the brickwork was specially ordered to resemble Pixar Studios up in Emeryville, California?
But once you step inside is where the fun starts. At once you'll notice something is a bit off when you see a 20-foot-high baseboard. This is because you are all now officially toys. Don't believe me? Ask to see any of the Toy Story cast members' shoes. Every single one of them has the name Andy written somewhere on one of their shoes.
So I suppose their souls belong to Andy?
Don't quit your day job.
This is my day job.
You don't even get paid to do this.
I know.
So anyway, soon you stumble upon all the toys in the queue, which all now have seemingly taken on giant proportions. From the board games, Tinker Toys, used crayons, doodles, Viewmaster reels, and much, much more.
Etch-a-Sketch gets you warmed up with Rebus puzzle games and tips for the ride. I personally love the Christmas lights that illuminate the loading dock, and the notices that are stapled scraps of paper. It's the little things, you know?
But arguably the best part of the queue is Mr. Potato Head. The cantankerous tuber plays Carnival Barker, telling you to hurry, hurry, hurry over to play the ride. He interacts with the people in the queue, chatting them up, cracking jokes, and even, if you ask him nicely, he can pull out his ear.
Top that, Buzz. I don't see you plucking off your arm over a Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin. Step up your game, cadet.
That is so wrong.
Number 3. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts at Universal Studios.
Had Universal not invested in Rowling's extremely lucrative property, this top 10 list might have almost been exclusively Disney. But no, so hey, diversity.
All up in that diagonal alley.
Diagon.
Geometry is hard. Anyway, the ride is based on the events of the first Deathly Hallows movie.
Deathly Hallows.
Nuance. Anyway, Henry, Don, and Henrietta...
Okay, stop. Don't hurt yourself. I'll take it from here. In the movie, Harry and his friends break into the super-safe Gringotts bank to find the Horcrux, but you're along in your own minecart. But again, we're here to discuss the part leading up to the ride. As you might expect, your adventure begins as you step into the Gringotts bank. As you do, you walk through the lobby bereft of a Bellatrix Lestrange disguise. But be wary, you're still surrounded by several scrawling, scowling goblins. Before long, you enter the backroom's offices. You soon see just how seriously these creatures care for their money.
Except the one guy wearing a top hat diving into a whole 3 cubic acres worth of cash like it's a swimming pool.
Except he wasn't a goblin. That was a duck. And that's not even a part of the ride. That was...
It was physically impossible! It's like ramming your head into a brick wall! A bunch of coins don't make some clinking sounding liquid! Mythbusters, get on this! I don't make sense for a Scottish duck to do! You can't have your pudding if you don't have your meat! How can you have
Dude! You have way overfilled your quota of random outbursts for this episode.
Dang it!
Anyway, after a pre-show explaining your purpose, you are here to open a bank account, you are set to board an elevator into the bank's catacombs, where a painting comes alive and explains the attraction's ride restrictions. The elevator helps in a big way, helping section parts of the queue off to make guests feel like they're in a smaller group, makes them feel like they're actually on the ride already, and it makes it easier for Universal team members to manage groups through the queue. The last leg of your journey involves getting your 3D glasses and ascending a spiral staircase to the loading platform. Just be warned, meddle not in the affairs of dragons, for you are crunchy and taste good with ketchup. Number 2. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey at Universal's Islands of Adventure.
Okay, seriously, more Harry Potter stuff? Excuse me, but I'll be in the corner reading this autobiography by the Batman villains.
Autobiography by the Batman villains?
Sure, see? It says right here, by Mr. Riddle.
Right. Well, as a lot of you know, Forbidden Journey was Universal's game changer to rival Disney's level of detail standard. It was also one of the first. Thanks to Miss Rowling's insistence, Universal stepped up in technology, showmanship, and yes, most especially the queue. Knowing fans were dying to roam the grounds of Hogwarts, Rowling insisted on as much dedicated accuracy as possible, most of which came from the films. The greenhouse, Dumbledore's study, the defense against the dark arts classroom, the Mirror of Erised, the Hogwarts house jewels, and of course, those lovable moving talking portraits. Oh yeah, and how about that sorting hat?
And don't forget that some of those rooms aren't exactly empty. That Merlin-looking guy,
Dumbledore.
Doubledare, is in his keep, welcoming all non-wizard folk.
Muggles.
You call me names in another language?
Sure, why not? Even the heroic trio show up in the classroom to get you over to the Quidditch match. The effect here to see Dumbledore and the kids are impressive to say the least. It's all a great build-up to an excellent ride.
And the number one best attraction queue is Dumbo the Flying Elephant at the Magic Kingdom.
Dumbo? Really? The Dumbo? But why?
Well, for one thing, there's hardly much of a line. Once you reach the head of it, you are given a ticket.
Well, not tickets so much as a pager, not unlike the one you get waiting for your table at an Outback Steakhouse.
Be that as it may, you are then admitted into the circus tent. Here, you find one of my favorite resting spots in all of the Magic Kingdom. In this tent is a playground and play structure for young kids to be turned loose and have fun. In the middle inner ring is a toddler play area exclusively for kids under 3.
But what about adults?
All along the walls are simple 2-level bleachers where adults can have a fairly decent view of everything in the play area and kick back. But that's not even the best part. The lighting is low and the music isn't too loud. Strangely enough, I have yet to find the kids playing to be too loud too. Compared to the old queue from the pre-New Fantasyland days, which were a series of tiny switchbacks in direct sunlight, now it's a shady, air-conditioned, entertaining for kids and relaxing for the adults. What more could you ask for?
But we're not comparing old queues to newer queues.
Kel, true. The appeal is that it almost feels like it does away with the huge bitter queue for one of Disney's best loved and most renowned rides. And just like a restaurant reservation, when your ticket goes off, with Timothy Mouse's voice, might I add, you enter yet another short line that doesn't take too long to escort to your elephant. You know, you may not be waiting less, but at least you get to be in some AC, sitting down, entertained, and relaxed while waiting for this Magic Kingdom classic.
Ooh, alright, we made it. Hurry up, Tap G. Let's get in and get the lap bar down. We wrap this up just in time. Thanks, everyone. I'm Surfer Clock.
And I'm impatient.
And we're What's the Attraction?
Where our work is your vacation. Here we go! Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? We are experiencing technical...
Oh, come on!
Please remain seated. Vehicles will be moving shortly.